Hi, this is Dr. Joanny Liu, and welcome to this morning's Facebook Live presentation of hashtag You Can Have What You Want, and I really mean that. So just give you a few seconds to jump on, but the thing is that yes, you can have what you want, and you can have what you want by having a very healthy brain, because that is so important, a very, very healthy brain. So today's topic is about how productivity myths are killing your brain, and I really mean that in a literal sense because we have a lot of beliefs surrounding productivity, okay? So what does it really mean to be productive? It means that you're getting your purpose done for the day, you're making headway, you're proceeding, you're moving forward, but is that really true? Because if you feel hurried, if you feel like you never have time to get things done, if you've got a to-do list that keeps growing and growing and growing and you're not making a dent in it, well, you're definitely a victim of productivity myths, because there are certain things that you're doing over and over again which aren't working, but you're doing them anyways because they're a habit. Okay, one of those productivity myths is going to meetings, okay? Are most of your meetings a waste of time? Do you feel that they're a waste of time, or do you feel that you have to go to these meetings? Oh man, in my day in corporate life, I tried to keep meetings as few as possible. If I really needed to know something, I'd just go over and walk over to somebody's office and talk to them, or I'd call them on the phone. And sometimes those, once in a while, those calls would actually get really heated. And they didn't happen very often, but every now and then they did. And that's when you know you really have a problem, when you're not, just focused on getting things done. So, are you really good at making priorities, at prioritizing things? Because prioritizing is so important. And so when somebody drops something on your desk and says that, you got to do this first, well, are you being brave and asking them, okay, then what should I drop right now? Because I remember working in a place where I was expected to juggle everything as a first priority, which I thought was a very strange thing to do. Hi, kitty. So my kitty is over here, so maybe you should just say hello. This is Kitty. Isn't she pretty? Okay. So the thing is with priorities is that then you know what you need to do for that day. And I write down my priorities in the morning, and well, actually at night, before I leave my office, before I leave work, so that I know that I haven't finished something, and that is a priority for the very next day, okay? But when somebody drops off something on your desk all of a sudden, and you're wondering, well, okay, so what do I do now? You have to have the courage to ask that person who just dropped that little emergency on your desk and say, okay, what do I need to drop so that I can take care of this? And I think it's a perfectly honest and a perfectly relative, pertinent thing that you should do, because all priorities should be vetted, okay? We have to question what our priorities are. And once you know your priorities, then you can have some meaning, okay? The other thing is knowing why you're doing something. Because so many times we're just caught up in a project and we have so many things flying our way and we're pulled in so many different directions that we forget why we are doing something. We forget the reason why something was so important. We forget the reason why this project was started. So you have to get clear on why this was so important, and you have to hang on to that because that's your goal, okay? So there's going to be so many distracting things coming your way, and the thing is that if you can keep hold of that goal, then you're probably going to be in good shape. Now, that means that you're probably going to have to keep saying no to more and more people, okay? And that's not going to be easy in a place where they kind of forget, too, about what the purpose is. So you're going to have to remind people about what that goal is and what the purpose is. Because we've all heard of project creep, right? If any of you are project managers, or if any of you have had to do any managing of a project, even though that's not your official title, you know about project creep and the fact that people are going to throw things at you. The thing is if your to-do list is getting longer, then you're not focused on the most important things. So you're going to have to go through that to-do list and to pick out with courage the things that are actually going to make a dent in that project or in whatever it is that you want to achieve. The other thing is about time management and versus block time. Every week you are going to have to pick times where it will be no disturb on your calendar. You pick out blocks of time where you're definitely going to be doing this particular task, okay? Unless, of course, there's a real emergency. Only in a real emergency are you going to budge from that block time that you've scheduled to do certain things. Because, really, you know, the thing is the bottom line to be productive, you've got to get the work done. Isn't that the whole point of being productive? Yeah. So the productivity myths of to-do lists and time management and, oh yeah, multitasking all go out the window. Multitasking is one of those silly things where people actually believe you can do more than one thing at the same time. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, your brain actually needs to focus on one thing at a time because that really is all it can do. So if you're being pulled in all these different directions and you're feeling stressed out because you're not getting anywhere, all you're doing is creating more holes in your brain. Because if this is going on a continuous basis, you are causing your hippocampus, that little part of the brain that creates more brain cells, to react more and more to stress. And if it gets affected by chronic stress, then you're asking for a lot of trouble, as I've explained in earlier segments. But very quickly now, the stress response, okay? So the hippocampus and the hypothalamus talk to each other, okay? The hypothalamus is the one that initiates a stress response and sends signals down to the adrenal glands to secrete adrenaline and cortisol, okay, which is a stress hormone. But if the cells in the hippocampus keep getting excited and activated by all this cortisol, then after a while, because they're firing so much, that the cells actually start dying off. And since the hippocampus is also responsible for creating new brain cells, it's going to stop doing that too. So in effect, your brain is shrinking. And it's not a surprise when we see holes in the brain, you know, like entire areas of the brain are actually disappearing. I've seen some brain scans, okay, believe me. It's pretty serious. So the thing is that it's reversible. So all these productivity myths are causing you a lot of stress, and it's going to hurt you, your brain, your mental processes, because stress makes you stupid, and it's because, well, your brain's also losing capacity too. So don't let that happen to you. Instead, do the block time. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. Be brave enough to say no and ask why. Okay? Try to keep meetings to a very minimum, because you got to remind people that the only reason why we become more productive is when we actually get the time to do the work, but also to think about what it is that we're doing and to keep focused on your goal. Okay? So that's it for today. And by the way, I've got a complete article written for E! The magazine for female executives that's coming up very soon. And I'll put a link up as soon as that magazine article is is up, because I'm really, really excited about this opportunity that I was offered back in June. Okay, so this is a really huge endeavor for me, with a huge audience of a population or readership of 1.5 million pairs of eyes and growing. So it's very exciting. So I'll have a much more complete article for you that will be contain some of these tips, but also more of them coming up. Okay? And if you or anybody is suffering from post-concussion syndrome, please go to Amazon and pick up my book, Heal Your Concussion, How to Quickly and Effectively Get Back in the Game. Get ready, okay? Bye. Have an awesome day.